when they built the Panama Canal was first built by the French, and 22,000 Frenchmen died here building the canal, because back in those days most of this was jungle or mountains, you know, full of mosquitoes and all kinds of things, and they died of malaria and yellow fever. And anyway, the French eventually pulled out. The Americans came in and finished it, and we've been their friends ever since. And the country is really on the move, as you can see, building everywhere. It's a very stable economy. The Panama Canal produces about half of the revenue that this country takes in every year. The country has a surplus. There's no deficit in this country. It actually has a surplus and it has no oil, which is kind of interesting. It's very rare. That's because the Panama Canal charges up to $240,000 for a ship to have the pleasure of going through. The reason for that is, let's say you have a ship and it has 400 or 500 containers on it, whatever it is. For you to go all the way around South America would take you an additional 14,000 miles to come out to the other side of the canal. Or you could just go 50 miles through the canal. So it's a lot less costly to actually pay $240,000 and go through the canal than it is to go all the way around, take 2 weeks, plus all that oil, all that time of using your ship, when you could just go right through the canal. Canal has a 2-day wait in most instances. It works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It never stops. It is the best toll booth ever devised by mankind.
I've never heard it described that way. That's good.
We came in and then, the French came and built it and the Americans finished it. It's quite interesting history of the canal. If you have a vision and you can imagine what all these buildings will look like 3-4 years from now when they're done, the city will not look the same. You get off an airplane 3-4 years from now and come back here, this is not going to look the same. I can tell you, when I first started coming here just 2 years ago, it did not look like this. It's amazing. For the first time, tourist revenue in Panama exceeded the revenue from the Panama Canal.
Is that right?
It is tourism here is growing so rapidly that the Minister of Tourism sent out a memorandum to the developers to please build more hotel rooms.
Yeah.
A lot of tourists come to Panama. The beaches are developing because of all the tourists coming to Panama. The city is developing because of, there's business here, but there's a lot of tourism here. The airport is extending itself again. I remember just some years ago, the airport was like it was in Mexico. I remember Mexico 10 years ago had a little hut for an airport, a little fence, and they landed and they pulled the stairs up to the planes. Now you look at the Panama airport, it's unbelievable. It's expanding again. They're adding more and more terminals all the time. If you go on the airporttocuman.com, the airport.com, you'll see pictures of the expansion and all the terminals they're adding and everything else. KLM just announced flights. Spirit just announced all new flights. Delta announced additional flights. So all the airlines are coming here. Everybody knows Panama. Panama is not a secret anymore. It's happening very quick.
No, there's a number on Panama. They're saying that over the next 3 years, isn't it like 10 years, 800,000 U.S. retirees?
And I just saw on somebody's, the guy we had dinner with last night, his website says in the next 5 years, they're expecting 500,000 to move into Panama. The rates are going up, not down, in terms of retirees.
Yes.
Because there's so many incentives, it's ridiculous. And the medical care is so cheap, and retirees care about that.
And it's good.
And the quality of life here is amazing. 500,000 over the next 5 years is on our website. I looked at last night. And we've also seen 800,000 quoted, but the 800,000 quote's 2 years old. So I'm sure it's gone up. If you think about it, in America alone, over the next 10 years, there's 76 million people that are going to be retirement age. That's a lot. That's just America. What about Canada, Asia, Germany, UK? I mean, you got people pouring into Panama from everywhere. Not just, we went to dinner last night. We had 2 people from the UK. We had another person, Denmark, person from Denmark, and then a couple from the United States, North Carolina, Texas, etc., etc. But people from all over the world here.
A lot of Venezuelans.
Yeah, Venezuelans, South Americans. They're all coming out of Venezuela because they don't like Chavez. They're leaving Ecuador. Prices here are very inexpensive. It's a fraction of what Costa Rica costs, and I think more beautiful and modern. It's not a third world country. I mean, look at it. It's modern. Also, Panama's got the same beauty. It's got rainforests, it's got zip lines, it's got monkeys and toucans and, beautiful birds and it's very eco-friendly. You can take eco tours, things like that. And they have that one key thing, the canal, that just makes money all day long. So the trade here. You know about the free trade zone? They're building a free trade zone. So now if you're a business person and you usually fly to Asia, you fly to Hong Kong or Beijing or Shanghai or Taiwan, you no longer have to do that to do all your trading. You just go right here to the free trade zone, only 2.5 hours from Miami or 3-4 hours from California or Texas, whatever it is, depending where you live. You fly in, do all your business right there in the free trade zone, and fly out a day later, 2 days later. You don't lose a wink of sleep. You go out to the next continent, to Asia. It takes a couple days to get there, a couple days to get back. You're totally exhausted. It takes you a month to recover.
Same product.
Oh, same everything. It's the same company.
Is that right?
Trading zone. It's a trading zone. They did it in Ireland also. Ireland has the European Union. It's like they created it there. It did wonders for the Ireland economy. So now it'll happen here in Panama. Another boost for the economy.
I read an article saying that Panama will be the Latin American Singapore.
Yeah, it will be. It's on its way.